inspiration for this piece was anthropology inspired. I've been seeing a lot of side tables and pieces of furniture with these rounded edges, and so I saw this in the Goodwill and thought maybe I could give it a go. I had no idea what I was in for. Unfortunately, this flip took way longer than I expected, but it turned out really cute, and it was an experience and something that I don't think I'll try again soon. But anyway, here I am using my new Festool HEPA vacuum with the rotary sander. I only used this for the coarse grit because I didn't know the sanding pads didn't come with it, and so that was the only one that came in the box that I had. I liked it. I did feel it had a lot of power, so I'm sure there's something there that I have to get used to as far as figuring out how to use this. I do like the fact that it sucked the dust right out and that it is better for my lungs in the long run. After sanding, I like to go ahead and wipe everything down with a wet cloth. I found these crocodile cloths at Home Depot last time I was there. They are ginormous. They're about 15 inches by 10 inches. They're made in the USA, and they're oversized pre-moistened cleaning cloths, and I've been using them for everything. Here I am just doing a little bit of veneer damage fixing. I used some Gorilla Glue on this that I had in my she shed, but I don't think I would recommend this Gorilla Glue again. Once I had put it on, it felt really greasy and the tape wasn't really sticking to it, and so that's why I made the tape longer so it didn't stick to parts of the glue. Just filling in some rough edges where the sanding got a little aggressive with some wood filler. This wood filler is old and crusty and looks like I need some new. I was really excited to use this paint. This is paint from Backdrop. I actually ordered this on Amazon. It's made for cabinets and doors. This finish is a semi-gloss finish. It has about a 30% sheen to it. The color I chose was warm terracotta. I don't know that I would use this color again, but it is a very modern, sort of in the look, in the now color, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and try it. I did order a half gallon, and I liked the fact that this paint is made in the USA and it's climate neutral. The brush I'm using here is an Sloan smooth finish brush. It is a synthetic bristle brush, which gives you a smoother finish, as opposed to a natural bristle brush, which is made to give you more texture. I don't know that I would use this paint again. After I painted it on the piece, it seemed to be really tacky, which I did read in the directions that your piece can stay tacky for a few days while it's drying. It does have a built-in top coat. That's probably why it was so tacky. I went to the Home Depot to get some feet for my piece. It was really low to the ground, and I figured that I needed to give it some height to give some more dimension. These are the only feet I found that I really liked. I also ordered some bun style feet, but they just didn't look right. I did not like the silver on the caps, so I taped off the edges and I used some gold metallic paint in gold leaf. This the spray paint that I used is Krylon Shortcuts. They come in the little mini cans. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. Anyway, the mini cans are super cute, and I just did, gosh, maybe one coat on all these little feet. These little feet attachments I also got at the Home Depot, and any sort of feet that you buy there just screw right in. So you just attach these to whatever piece of furniture that you're using, and the feet can come on or stay off. I got these knobs or these pulls from Amazon. I did use these on another project previously, and I really liked them. This also fits the style or the look that I was going for. I will link these down below in the description. At this point in the flip, everything's going really well. I'm liking how everything is turning out, except for this top here. If you see down in the left corner, some of that veneer started coming up, and I just thought the color was too much for this tiny little piece, and so I thought about taking the paint off just in this square where the table has these little divots where it's been put together. And I thought I would strip off the paint that I put down and do a different finish to give it a little bit of a different look. So I did the wood bleaching, Zinsser wood bleaching kit, which I should have just stopped there because look how cute that looks. I really like the way that that looked, but no, I didn't. I went ahead and did a wash with some General Finishes milk paint. This is the color Linen. I used this in another piece, my last console piece that I just did. And I added a little bit of water to this and stirred it up to do a wash on this wood piece. And pretty soon you'll see why I regret it. It's not something that if I did it again, I would do this exact thing, but I didn't really have an exact plan. So I just kind of went ahead and I went with it, and the results weren't to my liking. And you know, in my true style, I could have given up or kept going, and I chose to keep going, and I probably should have given up, but I didn't. So I'm doing the wash and just doing little bits at a time, and then once it sits on there for a minute, I took my Gorilla pre-moistened cloths and wiped it back just to try and get that linen color into the nooks and the crannies. I think I did 2 coats of a wash on this piece because some of the red was coming through. I did the same wash on the feet. Once the wash dried, I realized that I still had some chipping on the edge and the veneer, and I just couldn't think of any other way to cover that. So I got some grass cloth or rattan and thought about stapling that onto the top. As soon as I stapled it, I realized I had a problem. The little tiny dowels that I had gotten to go in the crevices to cover up the staples was not fitting. So I ended up taking a drill to this piece and my jigsaw and just cutting out the whole top, which yeah, that's what I did. So what you see here is me removing all those staples from when I had previously put the rattan in that were still there and getting rid of all that glue. What I'm going to do is build up the sides again with some wood strips. I ended up getting some other wood to put over the new rattan once I had stapled it back into that indentation or crevice or hole, or now that there's nothing there, there is a space for the rattan to sit down into. And again, to cover those staples, you have to use some sort of wood or molding to cover them up. They're not just magically, the rattan's not just glued there and you can't see it. That's why there's always some sort of wood over the edges of a rattan or a caned piece. So these are the pieces that, little bits of molding that I put around the rattan after I had stapled the new piece in. I am doing a dark wax because I want everything to be cohesive over those whitewash legs. I did the Sloan dark wax on my wood moldings and the Sloan wax over the feet as well. So there's the moldings that I cut to fit to go over the edges that I had stapled. I know that was really confusing. It was confusing for me to explain how I did that. There are a couple pieces of rattan on the edges that I have to get rid of so that my wood molding will sit down flush in that little area. And then I used my Milwaukee 23 gauge pin nailer to nail these wood moldings down, and I love this little pin nailer. It is operated with a battery, and it doesn't split the wood, which is amazing. And the little nails are so tiny that you can't even see them. So I use this for a variety of different projects. All in all, I learned a lot on this project. I learned to probably plan a little bit better about what you're going to do and not just sort of wing it as you go, which is my usual method. All in all, I feel I achieved the look that I was going for. I may have taken the long way around, but I did eventually get there. And if you made it this far in the video, what do you think of this piece? Would you put this in your home? Please give me a like and a thumbs up and subscribe, please, so that I can keep making more of these pieces for you and show you my process and all the tools I use.